How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new with us, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. We put out a new video every week, so if you want to stay up to date with us, we got a lot of stuff going on. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. Today we are working on the Frankenstein Civic. So if you're new with us, I know we have a lot of new subscribers. This is our 96 Honda Civic hatchback. And we call it Frankenstein because we have combined so many parts cars together to make this thing. We got Del Sol seats in there. We got a Civic Type R wing in the back. We have brakes from a Civic SIR. We got a motor from a Honda Prelude. Obviously the front end is not stock. This is from an Acura EL. The grille is from a Honda Domani. I mean, the list goes on and on, so hence the name Frankenstein. Now, we use this car a lot at the track. We don't really compete with it. We have another race car for that that we call Eggplant, so I'll leave a link up top on one of these sides. So you can check that out. We also bring this car to the track as well, but we do hot laps with it, just kind of for fun and just to rip it around. So last time I was at the track, I was experiencing some cooling issues, so it wasn't really overheating, but it was running a bit hotter than I would like it to. And it actually did the same thing last year too. So I ended up putting a new Yonaka Rad in there. It's a double core, so it's a bit thicker than the factory one, and I thought that would make a difference. The first time I ran it this year, it did really good at the track. It did not overheat at all, but it was a really cold day. So the last time we were at the track, it was a bit of a warmer day. Not super hot out though, but it was running really warm. So I was talking to one of the racing instructors there, and he's been running Hondas basically his whole career. As you can see, it's a bit obstructed up here. So when he was having a look in the grille here, there's some obstruction here which would block airflow. Also down here, there's not a whole lot allowing the air to get through. And because this motor is so big, I don't have enough room in here to mount the fan on the inside, so I've actually had to mount it on the front side. So I could see that obstructing the airflow quite a bit as well. So what he suggested was taking the front license plate off, because it was also obstructing quite a bit under here. So I've done that already. He had also suggested getting a different grille that just has mesh in the front. Now, I really like the Domani grille, so I kind of want to keep that, and I don't really want to modify it in any way. I do have the stock Acura EL grille up there, but I don't want to have to change it out every time I go to the track. I kind of just want to go there, I want to swap my wheels and hit the track. I don't want to do too much maintenance ahead of time, so I think I'm going to leave the grille as is. I'm going to relocate the license plate over here somehow. I know with the signal lights there, that might be an issue, so I'm going to have to figure something out there. But the biggest thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting some air holes in here just to allow more airflow. Now, I know a lot of people are probably cringing. People are already cringing about me drilling holes in the bumper to make this lip fit. But I got to do what I got to do. I can't have it overheating at the track. I don't want to blow that thing up, so I would rather cut holes in the bumper than have a blown motor at the track. And if we come to the back side of the car, you can see that I've already cut holes in the back bumper. I just thought it kind of looked cool, and it also lets some of the air escape, so it makes the car a little more aerodynamic at the track. Basically, the back bumper acts as a parachute, and by putting the holes in there, it allows some of the air to escape. I'm probably not gaining a whole lot by doing it, but I kind of like the way it looks too, so that's kind of why I did it. But by adding holes to the front bumper, it's kind of going to match the rear bumper, so it's all kind of going to tie in. So I don't think it's going to look too bad, and it's going to function as well, so that's kind of the main reason why I'm doing it, because I don't want to have the motor overheating at the track anymore. Last time I was there, I was doing really good. I was in the middle of a run, and it was right near the end of the run when it started to run hot, so I had to let off. And there's nothing worse than letting off at the track. If you've ever been to a track, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, let's get started on this. I apologize to everyone in advance if this is making you cringe, but functionality. Alright, so what I've started with is I've marked with a gold Sharpie here the center line of the bumper. So how I accomplished that was by measuring from the license plate holes, just use them as a reference. And then I put a mark right in the middle here. I don't want to start my holes right in the middle because if it's off by a little bit, it's going to be extremely noticeable because we have the emblem here that is right in the middle. So if it's off by just a little bit, it's going to be very noticeable. If we offset it, it's going to be very forgiving if we're off by a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. So I kind of want to start the first hole here. So what I measured is from the center hole here, 3 inches. And I'm using a 3-inch hole saw. So by lining this up, it's going to be about centered with that line there. It looks pretty good in that position, I think. And if I go 1 inch apart, it's going to give me a lot of airflow along here. Now I don't think I'm going to have to go the entire run of the bumper, since the rad really only starts here and it ends about here. So I think by the time I get to this signal light, that's going to be good enough. So I may only need to do about 4 holes and I'll get the airflow that I need. So I'm going to get all these measured out. I'm going to have to measure the center from top to bottom yet. But I want to start by getting the spacing correct, and once that's spaced out, I can get the center marked as well. So I'm going to get started with that. Alright, so here's where we're at right now. What I ended up doing is marking out every 4 inches. So then that way I will have 1 inch spacing for each hole, because it's a 3-inch hole saw that I'm using. And then to center it from top to bottom, this is kind of curved up here, so it's not going to be exactly centered. But the biggest thing that I'm worried about is getting them all leveled. So what I did is I kind of eyeballed it a bit. Kind of found what I thought was the center. So to me it looked like about 4 inches when it starts to curve, or when it's at the top of the curve there. So I kind of figured 2 inches was a good point to have it at. So then I hooked in the tape measure at the bottom here, and then at 2 inches I used a scribing tool, and then I just poked a hole 2 inches up on every one. Now I should be able to get my drill, get a small drill bit, and then make a hole all the way through, and then I'll just go up from there. And then once I get to the right size, I can use my hole saw, and I should have a nice straight line there. Fingers crossed anyway. Alright, so as you can see, I've got all my pilot holes drilled. So I got my hole saw ready here, and what I'm going to be doing, a lot of people, what they do is they'll run a drill bit in here, which is fine for if you're cutting holes in metal and wood, but for plastic, because it's so soft, if you run a drill bit, you run the risk of the side of the drill bit chewing into your hole here, and then it'll become misaligned. So what I have here is just a piece of metal rod, and then that way it's not going to chew through, and it has a very tight fit with the holes that I've drilled here. So when you stick it in, it takes a little bit of force for it to actually go in there, and it fits nice and solid. That way there's no risk of it shifting up or down, and it's going to give you a nice straight hole. So as long as all my measurements are right and all my pilot holes are level, then every hole should be fairly aligned. So I'm going to get this put into the drill down there, and we'll get these holes drilled, and we will see what happens. Alright, well, I got my holes drilled and they actually turned out really good. I'm really happy with the way they turned out. They're gonna need some cleaning up yet, so I gotta do some sanding around the edges and that kind of thing just to smooth them out. Next thing I'm gonna do is try relocating my license plate. So This is where the license plate would have been before, and as you can see, it's obstructing quite a bit of the airflow going to the rad. So what I want to do is move it off to the side. Now the problem with these cars is that they have signal lights in here. So if I was to mount it like this, most of my signal light is covered up. So I may need to do some modification, possibly cut the bottom portion of the license plate off. I don't want to modify the license plate too much because I may get pulled over because of it. So I think just by taking the bottom strip, I would say maybe 2 inches, maybe 1.5 inches off of it, that should give me enough space that it's going to cover mainly just this portion of the bumper, and it'll leave this exposed still. So that's kind of what I'm aiming for. Alright guys, well that's it. I got the holes drilled in the bumper and I got the license plate relocated. Honestly, I don't know how crazy I am about the license plate right now. I'm thinking it's going to take a bit of time for it to grow on me. Maybe if you guys could let me know in the comments what you think. I've never seen anything like it on one of these cars, so I don't know. I may have to get it outside and have a really good look at it to see how I feel about it, but it has to be there or I'm really going to get in trouble with the police. So I got to put the plate somewhere, and I think that's my best option for right now. But like I said, if you guys have any ideas, let me know in the comments. Maybe there's a better way that I can mount this thing. But other than that, I'm really happy with the way the holes turned out in the bumper. I really hope it performs well. We won't know for sure until I take it out on the track again. It's a few weeks away yet. I'm going to be doing hot laps again with the car, so we'll really be able to test it and see how it does. And then we'll also be racing that weekend as well with the other race cars. So should be a pretty good weekend. I'm looking forward to it, but like I said, it's a few weeks away yet. But anyway, that's about all the time I have for this weekend. So if you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below as well, guys. We're creeping on 1,000 subscribers, so we're pretty stoked about that. So let's keep the momentum going. Any help is appreciated. Maybe give us a share as well. Something I'm also going to mention is we do have merchandise available. We've been making stickers for a while now, and they are available for sale. We do not have a website up yet. We're currently working on it, but if you want stickers, and I think we have a few t-shirts left as well, make sure you let us know, maybe on Instagram or Facebook Messenger. We offer shipping anywhere in Canada and the US. Basically, all the funds that we make from selling our merch is going to go towards the Furious Civic back here. So if you haven't looked at that series yet, I'll put a link up top as well. Have a good look at that. We got a lot of work to do on it still, mainly the body work and the paint job. So like I said, any help is appreciated. If you want to buy some merch, all proceeds go towards getting that car up and running. So if you want to see that car out on the streets, it'll get there that much faster if we get some merchandise sold. So like I said, let us know and we can hook you up. So that's about all I got, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Hopefully we'll be ripping at the track. So look forward to that.